Air Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. Air Movement Fabrications, an official partner with Primetime Racing TV. Custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist, an official partner with Primetime Racing TV.
Picture perfect day, temperatures around 78 degrees, going for around 80.
It all adds up to an exciting afternoon and evening of racing here at Homestead Miami Speedway.
So many times it's easy to overlook the fact that we're living history right now. Years from now, people will be saying, my gosh, I was there for a part of history.
This is what everybody came to see.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, race fans, back to Primetime Racing TV. Here tonight with the Rivalry Racing League. First time we've ever covered these guys. Their primary broadcaster had a power issue at their location, so we're taking over for the nights. And so we welcome all the fans from these guys. Their championship race here at Homestead Miami Speedway. 134 laps here. As always, I'm joined in the booth by Corey Silva and Evan Black.
Very excited to bring this to you. Homestead Miami Speedway, as many of us know from watching NASCAR, is always championship week, and nonetheless, that is going to be the situation here today. A champion will be decided in about 2 hours' time here on Primetime Racing.
One interesting thing to point out real quick about this league is you may notice from the paint schemes on these guys' trucks, it is a college football themed league. So kind of, it's unique, absolutely unique.
Every driver has their own specific team of choice. Right now, qualifying is in session at the moment, but I think a driver's meeting is in order, so the qualifying lineup should be pretty much solidified. At the moment, Ricky Fagonde seems to be on the pole with a 31.321. Garrett Grant, David Weishart, one of the championship chase drivers, is in third with Brandon Stokes and Matthew Walzenbach, thus in the top 5. We do want to bring up the point standings, and Evan Black will go over those.
Yeah, coming into this final race, our points leader is Travis McDaniel, leading only by 2 points over David Weishart and Richard Holland. Phil Gary is 4th, and Brandon Stokes and Matthew Welzenbach are the 6 drivers that are eligible to win this championship, or that are in mathematically in points that they can win.
So you'll see on the ticker tonight, folks, the drivers who are in the chase, their numbers will be highlighted in yellow as they go across your screen. So keep an eye out, see where those guys are running tonight.
The top 3, as we have said, are the top 3, David Weishart, Travis McDaniel, Richard Holland. Those have been the money guys all season. They've won the majority of the races. They have led the majority of the laps, and they are predicted to be the ones up front going for this win here today. But the Homestead Miami Speedway is... It's really the perfect track to end a season at. It has every dynamic. It has the banking. It has the high speeds. It has the multi-groove. It has the tire wear, the strategy. Everything comes into play, and it really is a good track to decide a champion.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this track does with the new dynamic track on iRacing now that they have that fixed.
I do expect the trucks, obviously being a slower machine compared to Xfinity and to the Cup car, I do expect the bottom to be the preferred line at least for a while, but that while should be pretty short-lived because once time does go by, you're going to have to move up the track to get that grip, and there is more banking up there to help you, especially off the exit of the turns. We just await the remainder of the drivers' meeting. About 3 minutes left until these drivers will hit the grid for the green flags in the championship, National Championship 200 for the Rivalry Racing League. Again, we want to thank everyone who is here on Primetime Racing TV. Joining us, whether you are a fan of Primetime who caught us at the last second for this broadcast, or whether you came from the Rivalry Racing League. Appreciate you being here, get in chat, have some conversation, enjoy the race. If you haven't liked and subbed, please do so. A lot of racing here on Primetime, so if you haven't been with us before, please join us for the ride.
So about 2 minutes away from these guys moving on to grid here, and I expect a good show. Trucks here at Homestead Miami Speedway have the tendency to put on a really good, close race here, and correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, but I believe these guys are fixed setup.
I'm not Corey, but they are fixed setup.
Thank you.
Yeah, what was wrong with Evan? Evan's capable of giving some information. So fixed setup, we actually just covered, if you do follow us, you would have saw that we covered a race at the Charlotte Motor Speedway last night for our Hardline Racing League. It's a different track and shape and in banking, but being a mile and a half, they do race similar. And we did notice there that tire wear came into huge effect. We had a driver start the race in 15th on the final restart and drive his way to the front solely because he didn't burn his stuff up and he managed his tires over the run. I do expect a similar scenario to happen here at Homestead.
What are we thinking for fuel? I know I was thinking going on fuel. I don't see that there's a fuel limit, so it's just 100%. If we do have a full load of fuel in these trucks, I would expect between 50 to 55 laps, but the tires may dictate otherwise. So this could be a two-stop race. 135 laps. Yes, I believe you're either going to go maybe 40, or 50, 100, or 45 and 90. Or maybe you want to stretch it. Maybe you want to add another stop. If it does go green, it will add a different variant. I know we were talking to Travis McDaniel in pre-race, and he says he would not be surprised in the slightest if this race does go green all the way.
20 seconds left in what is finishing up the qualifying session and the drivers meeting, and we will soon get some racing to you with the starting lineup. And that counts it down, so the race will soon begin. So let's get you some starting lineup here. The Primetime Racing TV starting lineup for the Rivalry Racing League National Championship 200 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Your pole sitter today is going to be Ricky Fagonde with a 31.321. Garrett Grant to his outside. We have David Weishart in third. Brandon Stokes in fourth. Matthew Walzenbeck in fifth, and Robert Victory in the sixth position. Inside of row 4 is Zachary Carter to his outside, Richard Holland, and then Michael Tibbetts and Travis McDaniel, one of the chase drivers, rounding out the top 10.
We have Phil Gary in 11th, Shed Martin in 12th, Nicholas Wing in 13th, Joe McAddery in 14th, Patrick Howard in 15th, and rounding out the field is Joseph McWhorter. I'm thinking that's how you say that name.
That sounds about right. So we got a 16 truck grid here. Not a huge field, but not a small field, and this size field would indicate to me that this should be a relatively green flag race. There's a lot of space to navigate here at Homestead. Like I said, we can run the multi-grooves, top, bottom, middle, wall, apron. I mean, not apron, but you can run pretty much everywhere, so there's not much of a reason to have contact, but that would instigate a green flag race, but we'll see what happens. Some rules of Homestead you may not be aware of, and if you are, then you'll already know it, but if not, you have to run the access roads here on pit entry and pit exit. That can be a area of issue, especially late in the run, so you'll have to take note of that if we do have green flag stops.
Can be very tricky staying on that access road entering pit road on those old tires. It's very easy to overshoot it a little bit and just slide off into the grass.
That is very true. As one pace lap coming to an end here, we wait for the iRacing.com pace car to pull into the pit lane and wait to get this championship race going. We wait for the green flag from Ricky Fagonde to get this race going, and there it is, green flag in the air. The Rivalry Racing Series Championship race is underway.
The 42 Grant did not get going on that restart. The 22 is going to clear him here going into turn 1.
No, I'm sure the 20 machine likes seeing that in his rear view, though. He's got a pretty good lead now, but these guys start to get singled out here, and going down the back straightaway, it doesn't look like there's too many side-by-side.
Everyone getting into line here, kind of getting their groove going. We have the two Louisville trucks of David Weishart and Garrett Grant in the second and third position here. You can see some different lines already going to play through 3 and 4.
Homestead Miami Speedway, known for its multi-groove racing here, especially on the iRacing service. So, yeah, these guys going to be able to try a bunch of different lines today, as we might have a battle for lead already.
As we come off of turn 2 here, we have the 20 of Fagonde to the outside, and one of the chase drivers, David Weishart, he wants to get the lead. He wants to get that bonus point. That bonus point could be the difference in this championship.
Fell back a little bit on entry, but he's got a run on exit on your leader here in the 20 machine, and right on the back bumper once again going into turn 1.
Seems to be kind of settling into line here right now. Remember the other drivers we do have in the championship chase right now, the championship contention. Travis McDaniel, he's running back in the 9th position right now. And we also have Richard Holland, who is in the 8th position. So right now, we'd be giving the championship to the 22, but way too early to make a call on that.
A lot can change in 131 laps.
Yeah, absolutely, Evan, and we've seen it plenty of times here in auto racing and on iRacing for racing for championships. Anything can happen.
But we will be taking note of that. We will do our best in the booth here to keep you updated on who would be the champion at the current moment. It will be changing dynamically, but we'll do our best to keep you updated on that. But as we speak about this, Weishart getting right to the back bumper of Ricky Fagonde here. He wants to get that lead. He needs that bonus point.
Right to the back bumper going into turn number 1. He falls off just a little bit. Let's see if he can get a run on exit, running a little bit higher of a line.
That run on exit will give you the momentum down the straightaway, as you will kind of have that extra shot down the hill on exit. It's going to give him the opportunity to go to the inside, entering 3, side-by-side battle for your lead.
Side by side, coming into turn number 4, down the front straightaway. Who will get the lead at the line? 20 getting real close to the wall, runs a higher line. He gets the momentum going into turn number 1.
The 22 of Weishart. He'll get it this time. He did not lead the prior lap, but he will get this lap. This, assuming he can get back to the line in this position, he'll have a bonus point. Remember, he is 2 points out of the championship at the moment, so this is 1 point to his advantage right now.
And don't look now, here comes the 42 trying to take another position away from the 20 machine.
Garrett Grant, he will take it. It would be an absolute Hail Mary for him to get this championship. Remember, he's 26 points out, still technically in the mathematics, but it's going to take an absolute miracle, but miracles can happen. A little further in the pack here, we follow Richard Holland. Remember, he is also 2 points out of this championship lead. Richard Holland in the 31, trying to get by Walzenbach here in the 29 as they are side by side through 3 and 4.
He does get that position. He clears around 4.
Again, the drivers with the yellow number plates in the ticker are denoted. Those are the chase drivers, so you can follow them rather easily to know where your chase drivers are. All 6 mathematically eligible drivers are highlighted in yellow.
Everyone pretty much single file here as the 29 tries to go for a position on 31 once again, but he's too strong going into turn number 3.
We'll go back and follow the other playoff driver, Travis McDaniel, in the 2. He's worked his way only up to the 8th position at the moment. So he's currently working on the 23 of Michael Tibet's, but so far he's standing in line here, but he's going to need to get up there. His drivers that are battling him, they're going to currently overtake his points lead.
Yeah, and that really hurts him, especially with Weishart getting that bonus point.
29 of Walzenbach really pulled to the top there. I don't know if something happened or if he's just trying to get out of the way here, but rather slow is the 29 machine right now. Currently has Phil Gary and Zachary Carter behind him.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just hit the wall entering in turn 3 and it really slowed him down.
Side by side off of turn 2 here is Walzenbach and Phil Gary. The inside line, a shorter distance worth noting at Homestead. The inside line has less banking. There's 18 degrees on the bottom, 19 in the middle, 20 on the top. So even though the shorter distance, it may seem faster, you're not going to have the momentum down there you'll have higher on the track. Walzenbach will prevail, just as I say that. Gary gets another run down there. This is a good battle for your 8th and 9th position at the moment.
Travis McDaniel has now worked his way to the 6th position.
Yes, he's
doing what he needs to.
He's got by Michael Tibet's, but he's in 6th position, and he's currently 4 seconds off the lead. And remember, Weishart is up front pulling away right now. And Richard Holland is in 2nd. So at this point, as we said, Weishart is in the championship position. But remember, we have 122 laps to go.
Yeah, a long race here still left, and these drivers, I think, just trying to save what they got to the end here. They do not want to take any chances before they have to.
Now guys, one thing that we need to bring up is we brought up earlier in pre-race about if this race does go green. It's going to bring up strategy. It's going to bring up when do you pit. It's going to bring up who saves their tires better. But if this does go green, the deficit that McDaniels is going to have, which is over 4 seconds now, would he be able to compound that and gain any time being that far back so early?
That's not a question for me. I'm a dirt guy, so
I don't know if he'll be able to. I don't know if he'll be able to make up that time without a caution.
If he's if he's already 4 seconds off the lead this early in the race, is he going to be able to do that on speed or strategy? I don't know. Right now, 4.4 seconds is McDaniel's behind. This is going to put him, about 4 points behind. That's going to put him in 3rd position in the standings when he came in as the leader by 2.
McDaniel just has to hope that Weishart's up there burning his tires off and will drop back.
We'll bring up the prime time battle tracker here that we showcase, kind of showing the battle between 1st and 2nd at the moment. Last time by, give the advantage to Weishart by almost a 10th. So that's what he wants. He's the fastest driver and he's pulling away. Let's see what it is this time by. As they hit the stripe, Weishart will clock in a 32.376 to Ricky Fagonde. 32.485, so a 10th faster, which obviously is another 10th in the bank for the lead for the 22.
One guy that was a little bit quicker than Weishart was Richard Holland. He was a little bit faster than Weishart that last lap.
Richard Holland the last time by a 32.337. That is indeed about a 10th or so faster than what Weishart ran. Remember, that is his competition. He needs to gain 2 seconds to get up there and pass Weishart. Remember, he is tied with Weishart in the standings, 2 points back, but Weishart has the edge of leading the most laps. Well, leading a lap thus far, I should say.
Caution.
Caution on the speedway.
Looks like Patrick Howard kind of running the infield road course. I'm assuming something happened with him. Go back here on primetime replay and see what happened to what I'm assuming to be the number 89.
I don't think it was...
He was pulling to the inside as if he was making a pit stop. And he went and ran the road course.
Is that what brought out the caution?
I don't know. I mean, I know Charlotte has a Roval. I didn't know they were planning on running the Homestead Roval, but I don't know if that's what brought out the caution. But
it's the only thing that I can see.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, I don't really have an explanation for that. I said maybe he's reporting to NASCAR if they can run the Homestead Roval next season. Who knows?
Yeah, get a little bit of practice in.
But this will bring all of the lead lap drivers. We do have a driver who has expired his engine.
That is Brandon Stokes. He is using his 1 reset here. I believe it's only 1, and he'll get that all fixed up, going into a backup car, as I like to say, and I'll be back in contention for this thing.
Look at his truck. I don't really see it. I mean, there's a little bit of front end damage. I don't see anything that would indicate terminal engine damage, but obviously that did happen.
Could have been a misshift or something else under the yellow here.
All the race off pit lane here. Who's going to get at the stripe? It looks like Weishart just snuck out there. Fagonde had a much quicker stop, though.
So we were talking about a much-needed yellow for a couple of these guys, and how well do you think they'll try to utilize this, Corey?
Well, it's going to bring McDaniels right back in. We were talking about we didn't know if he was going to be able to stay in the battle or at all if it stayed green with that deficit. So it's going to bring these guys back together. They're going to know what they have, know how the track's going to react. We had a decent-sized run there, so kind of a little reset, kind of learn what you learned on the first run and put that to use for the next stint.
I bet you Holland did not want to see that caution. He was starting to reel in our leader there a little bit.
Or maybe he did want to see it because now the deficit's gone. Unless he thinks he's a long-run driver, so maybe he didn't want to see it in that regard.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Well, I finished it for you. We didn't discuss the weather yet here today. Kind of standard iRacing conditions, 78 degrees in the air, 104 on the track. partly cloudy skies, negligible wind, 2 miles an hour from the north, so the weather will not be of any issue for these drivers today.
According to our live chat, apparently running the road course, pulling off onto the road course, is enough to bring out a yellow here. I never knew that.
That's interesting.
We still don't really have clarification as to why he ran that. Perhaps maybe we can figure that out through our communication means, but from our angle, it looked like he was coming to the pits, but then he just, instead of running the access road, just kind of took the first left instead of the second left, if you will.
Took a wrong turn.
Let's see if the iRacing.com pace car gives us the one to go. Believe it will, and indeed it does. We got 20 laps in the books thus far. We're currently working on lap number 21. It'll be 22 when we hit the green flag, so a good little stint of this race out of the way. Enough that I think you can kind of learn what the truck's going to do over a run, but I do expect that at some point we're going to get a longer run. We're going to get green flag pit stops. I'm pretty confident. Apparently my broadcast partners aren't as confident as I am.
I agree, Corey.
There you go. I gotta respond to me. Let me know you're there. Communication, folks. Communication.
So these guys stacked up, doubled up, and ready for the restart here, and pace car ready to pull off here momentarily. Pace car pulls off. These guys on the throttle. Green flag back in the air.
Weishart got a heck of a jump there. That's exactly what he needed. He's going to probably get out to about 3 truck lengths here entering turn 1. The battle's going to be side by side for second.
Garrett. 42 of Grant able to clear the second place running Ricky Fagande.
Brandon Stokes with that engine change he got there on that pit stop. He's already running in the 3rd position, and he's trying to get to the outside of the 42. He's trying to be the meat in the Cardinal sandwich up here, trying to split those two drivers up, is he? And this time by, he's going to run right in the tire tracks of the 42. Then we're side by side for the 4th position. We have one of your top drivers, Richard Holland and Ricky Fagande, 4th and 5th. Move Holland into the 4th position. Travis McDaniel, now that he's caught up after that restart, he's now in the 6th position, not too far off of 5th. So he's finally going to kind of be able to see what's going on with these lead drivers and try to get in the mix and preserve his championship.
The 42 trying to track down the 22 up front here now, and looks like your leader not getting as big of a lead as he had before.
Going back to what I was saying before though, you have to account for your tires. Eventually we are going to get a green flag run, and you want to have some rubber left on those Goodyears if we do go 40-50 laps. Perhaps he's not giving it his all, but we don't know. We will not know until this run progresses.
Yeah, this track really likes to eat up tires, so preserving them is really key here.
It's very easy to dive it in deep and try to get that run, try to hold it on the bottom. It's very easy to do that, and you may be able to do it for a couple times, but eventually you're going to burn that right front up, and then you're going to seriously be regretting it 10 laps later. You already see a line difference here. Weishart in the 22, he's kind of running the middle groove, or the bottom of the 2nd lane, if you will. But Garrett Grant seems to still be trying to hug the white line, especially in turns 1 and 2. But watch out for the 4th position. Richard Holland's in it right now, but he's looking for P3. He's looking to get by Brandon Stokes and get into the top 3 and maybe have a run at this lead. Not going to quite have the run quite yet, but he's still digging on that inside.
The top 4 drivers, I do believe, are all chase drivers.
I think.
Yes, they are. Brandon
right,
Stokes is still in this. I mean, we're kind of neglecting him. He is in the playoffs, in the chase, whichever terminology we are going by. I think it is the chase. But he is 19 points out. So again, it's going to take a miracle, if you will, for it to happen in his favor. But again, we can't discount anything. Anything is possible. Bill Gary in the 68, he's 3rd in the points. He's 14 out. He's currently running in the 7th position right behind McDaniel. So again, we can't ignore every driver in the chase, but we do have the 3 that we're mainly focused on.
Brandon Stokes has a little bit of company on his back bumper now. The 31 trying to make a move to the inside. They're side by side.
Off turn 2 here, Holland to the inside. It's hard to hold that momentum down there, but he is going to try to. You have to hold a tighter line, lose some momentum, burn some tires off to run down there. He's doing his best, but he just can't get that momentum off exit to clear him.
Stokes will end up holding the position, and looks like the 31 machine's falling back just a little bit now.
We may want to experiment with his line, move up, maybe try to take some load off the right front tire. If he continues to run the white line, it's only going to make that truck tighter and tighter and tighter over the run. We are getting live points in chat from Mike Taylor, one of the admins. Was in the chase, unfortunately dropped out of it for certain circumstances. But he's telling us, as of this moment, Weishart is your champion by 4 points over Travis McDaniel at the present moment. And Richard Holland would be tied with McDaniel. But again, this is only on lap 31. We still have 103 laps to go. But it is fun to kind of follow it as we go. Top 5 at the moment is Weishart, Garrett Grant, Brandon Stokes, Richard Holland, and Ricky Fagonde. Fagonde being the lone non-playoff driver currently in the top 5.
Even top 7, I think.
That is true. We'll bring up again the battle tracker here this time by, try to get a some kind of a reference between the leaders as to who is gaining on who. And it does look like Weishart has about a 10th in the bank still on Grant. See, off 2 this time. Stokes really high, higher than he wanted to be, lost momentum. That's going to give Richard Holland the chance to clear, move him into P3, and let's see what he's capable of. Let's see if he can make something with the 2 leaders.
Yes, before Stokes had that incident, he was running almost the exact same pace as our leader, David Weishart.
You bring up a good, well, you kind of poked something in my brain there, Evan, when you said incidents. If you do finish this race with 0 incidents, it is an additional bonus point for your point standings effort. So correct me if I'm wrong, Mike Taylor in chat, but I do believe that's right. So that is something to note. A clean race will give you a bonus point, and that bonus point could be the difference.
Especially when coming into the race separated by 2 points for the top 3.
We're going to bring up our little graphic to show lap times right now to compare our top main 3, if you will. Last time by Weishart, a 35.0. Richard Holland, a 32.295. McDaniel, all the way down to a 32.443. So definitely the slowest of the 3 is the 2 machine. So he's going to have to find something, or this championship's going to go to the wayside for him.
A clean race will give you an extra point, Corey.
There we go. I knew I was right about something.
Every once in a while it happens, Corey.
We are at Homestead Miami Speedway. We're not at Talladega, if you watched yesterday's race.
For some reason, Corey thought that Charlotte Motor Speedway was Talladega Superspeedway.
Just call me Bill Weber.
Yep. Well,
But Corey, you were right about one thing. You don't see very many dive bombs at Talladega. You were right about that.
Unless you're running the
He said dove bombs.
Unless you're running the non-plate COT, then you can dive bomb. It is possible, it's just very circumstantial. But here we go for the second position here. Richard Holland trying to get up there, making kind of setting himself up for a pass on Garrett Grant.
Right to the back bumper, going into turn number 1. Not gonna quite get there. He's gonna lose a little bit of time on entry. Running a little bit higher of a line though. See if you can get the momentum on exit.
We got a really good run there from what we can see down the back straightaway. Garrett Grant's gonna have to watch out. But Holland did not get as good of a run. I think he held in line. But look at the line difference here. He's running the second line, and he's going to try to cut and maybe pull alongside down the front straightaway.
He's got the momentum. They're side by side coming down the front straightaway.
What can he do in 1 and 2? You want to be up top. The bottom is harder to run, but can he take advantage of it and clear this pass? Look at Grant all the way to the top.
They're still holding side by side. They're not giving up without a fight. They both want the same position right now.
I think the bottom is easier to run in 3 and 4. Holland will try to use that to his advantage. 42 washes up very high there. 42 running the Larson line, kind of representing the number there. And Holland, no, I thought he was going to get him at the stripe, but the 42 with that surge is able to hold the position.
Holland on the low side, Grant on the high side.
Oh, is he almost clear? Oh, not quite. Thought he was going to slide job.
Holland almost slid up the track and maybe going for the slide job there. Realized he wasn't clear. Good
Weishart is loving what he's seeing
right now. And they're side by side behind them as well.
Fagonde and Stokes for the 4th and 5th positions respectively. Fagonde to the inside. I don't know who's trying to protect who right now, but they are side by side, and up front it looks like Grant did prevail and has held off the side-by-side challenge.
The 20 machine prevails in that battle behind them as well.
The 42 got high in 3 and 4. Holland can get around them.
Evan, you were choppy as ever right there.
Maybe having some technical problems with our commentator, Evan Black. Hopefully that does seize up, but move Richard Holland to the 2nd position at the moment, but he has now 2.2 seconds to the leader.
Yeah, so the 31 machine gaining some ground and moving into the 2nd position here, and but he's got a lot of time to make up to catch the leader.
We're currently about 25 laps into this stint here since the last caution. We predicted about 50 to 55 on a fuel load, but we are already about a second, maybe a little over a second off of our qualifying pace, and that's only going to drop off sooner. So I wonder if we're going to see any short pitting.
Yeah, very possible, and very good strategy to play at a track like Homestead. There's so much tire fall off here and so much time lost throughout the run. It's a very good strategy.
While we have a second, we'll go through the field here on lap number 44, coming to lap 45. Again, your leader is David Weishart, currently in the championship position at this moment in the race. Richard Holland in 2nd, actively trying to close on him. We have Garrett Grant in 3rd, under a fire from Ricky Fagonde in 4th. Brandon Stokes is in the 5th position. Travis McDaniel, another one of the top championship drivers, in 6th, with Phil Gary, Joseph McWhorter, Matthew Walzenbeck and Zachary Carter currently rounding out the top 10. And rounding out the field thus far, Michael Tibbetts, Nicholas Wing, Joe McAddery, excuse me, Shed Martin, Robert Victory, and Patrick Howard. Certainly all the vehicles started are currently on the track. Patrick Howard is the only one not on the lead lap at the moment.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive though, the top 15 all on the lead lap.
There you go, Evan, you're back to normal now.
Yeah, I just had to wait it out, wait for my internet to stop being stupid.
Battle for the third position, it looks like back here. The 20 versus the 42 right now.
So much side-by-side racing here at the Homestead Miami Speedway as we expected. Looks like we have the Arizona Silverado versus the Louisville Silverado. Remember the college football theme of this league.
42 prevails that time, but the 20 looking to possibly make a comeback. He's looking on the inside once again.
Through 3 and 4 here. Looks like Fragande a little bit higher. They're both running similar lines, with the 42 drifting up a little bit higher. Don't know if that's going to come to his benefit at all. Do have a really slow machine here. The first pit stop, Robert Victory, he was already running in the back. He's down pit lane. Looks like he may have scraped the wall a couple times. But we go back to this battle for the third and fourth position, respectively, I should say. Still side by side. No longer side by side.
Yeah, Robert Victory's engine did expire.
Tough break for him. Hopefully he does have a fix to get that, a quick fix to get that repaired. Do want to take note of the gap up front. Weishart is now down to a 1.7 second deficit, or advantage, I should say. So Holland has already gained about 4/10 since last we checked up, and is running maybe about a half-tenth faster every lap. So at that pace, it's going to take a while, but he definitely is faster. But it's time, Evan, now that you're back to normal communication methods, you're kind of good with the crew chief role. When do you pit right now? We're 31 laps into this stint right now. When do you pit?
Kind of depends on how long we can go on fuel, which we're kind of assuming around 50 laps or so. So if they pit here in around 10-20 laps, I think that's the only one they'll have to make under green. If my math is correct, which is probably not, but...
So if we kind of play this race backwards, if you will, as the 20 and the 42, again, they will not give up on this battle for the third position. Very hard, exciting, very clean battle. But we play it backwards. Let's go 55 laps off of 134. Let's just do it backwards. That would be 80 laps. Lap 80 would be a 55 lap run, 54 lap run to the end. So, maybe...
Well, that's going to be close, though.
You'd have to pit on lap... Let's say you pit on lap 85. You just make it a 49 lap run to the end. But you're not going to make it till then, most likely. So, I feel like it's going to be a two-stop race. So, if that's the case, you might as well pit now.
Yeah. But unless you want to wait, go as far as you can and do 4 tires and then just do a splash and go.
But... also, we're assuming that the yellow flag is put away for the day, which it very well might, but as we all know, races get shaken up all the time. Your strategy, which you think is pretty foolproof, can get totally thrown down the toilet with the yellow flag.
Battle for the 6th position right now, the 11 versus the 68. Looks like Brandon Stokes versus Phil Gary. Stokes up high, Gary down low. Gary gonna slide right up in front. The slide job down on turn number 2.
Not at Eldora, but the slide job is in order here. It is very easy to do here at Homestead with the different lines in play. Again, Phil Gary and Brandon Stokes, they are separated by 5 points in the standings right now. So if there is going to be a change with them to get into the top 4 or 5th position, there's going to have to be a little more positions in between them to get that 5-point gap. And again, let's focus on Travis McDaniel for a second. He's in the 5th position. He's currently running, as well, last time by, he was actually almost 2/10 faster than Weishart. Let's see what he runs this time by. 33.06, and Weishart was a 33.2. So he is faster, but the problem with this is he's 4.5 seconds off the lead right now. It's McDaniel.
Slowly but surely gaining, but will it be enough by the end? If he can hold this pace throughout the entire portion of the race, I think he could come down right to the end here, but you know, who knows what happens after pit stop.
To quote you, Brandon, don't look now, but that 1.7 second gap we were looking at is now down to only 1.2, 1.1 even. We're going to have a battle for the lead here shortly, but I don't know what's going to happen first. Are we going to have a battle for the lead, or are we going to have pit stops?
I kind of think we'll have a battle for the lead first.
Does any of my mathematicians here want to calculate the halfway lap? Because that's a difficult one for me to
67.
do. There you go. So we're 38 laps into the stint. I do think we can make it to halfway on the current fuel load. Again, we're assuming it's a 50 to 55 lap run. That is purely off our estimates from our experiences. But that's not going to be enough to make it to the end of the way. Oh, but here comes Weishart. Needs to watch his pit entry here. It's a very difficult access road here at Homestead. You don't want to be too conservative, but you got to make sure you stay on it. He seemed to do so successfully.
Beautiful entry there.
But was it too beautiful? Was it too slow? These are the things we do not know. We won't know till it all shakes out. And is this going to bring Holland to pit road this time by? Holland stays out another time.
Now this could very well hurt him staying out for a few more extra laps here, and simply because the tire fall off is that dramatic.
That is very true. I was just going to allude to that, Brandon. He's losing about 1.5 seconds. He will be every lap he stays out. But is what he is doing maybe sacrificing a pit stop? I mean, if that's the case, it's going to work to his benefit. But if he's just going to pit in 3 or 4 laps, he's going to lose about probably 6 to 7 seconds. But he's getting a bonus point route. He's already got his bonus point for leading a lap, so that is in his benefit at the moment. Ricky Fagonde in the 2nd position, about 1 second or so behind this. And then Travis McDaniel, he's now in 3rd now, about 3 seconds behind this. Remember, he hasn't really been in the mix with the top guys at all thus far. Hasn't really even been in the top 5. But he is the points leader as of the start of this race, so he really needs something to bring this race into his favor.
Holland is trying to maneuver through lap traffic now, and he'll skip pit road this time around as well.
So Weishart has been out for, I believe, 3 laps now, and he's currently scored a lap down. He's hitting the stripe this time by. He's the first driver off of the lead lap as he enters turn 1. Right now, Holland's coming off turn 2, so if Holland doesn't pit soon, Weishart's going to unlap himself on the racetrack, and then when Holland pits, he's going to have an enormous lead. But Holland's going to have fresher tires, and he will be able to eat into some of that. So as we approach the halfway point, we anxiously await to see when is Holland going to pit.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised he hasn't pitted yet.
Unless our pit estimate is entirely off and maybe it's a lot longer than we think. Right now we're pushing 70 to go right now. Halfway will be 67 to go. I mean, maybe the most you can go is 60 laps? I don't know. Right now we're on 45, so if you can go 60 laps, I guess you can make it on one more stop. Maybe we've just been calculating wrong, which isn't really surprising to me.
Yeah, it's instead of calculating, we've been guesstimating.
Well,
Guesstimating.
I mean, we've run our fair share of races. I've had some league races at Homestead of similar distance, so I was pretty confident with that, about 55 laps.
But wasn't that an Xfinity car?
It wasn't an Xfinity car.
Oh.
They run the same size fuel cell, don't they?
Yeah, but lower horsepower might use less fuel.
He's got you there, Corey.
I don't have a comeback. Coming up behind the 31 now. Is this Weishart? Yes, it is. Weishart is now on the lead lap at this moment. If a caution comes out, he will not need to take the lucky dog. He will be on the lead lap naturally. But he doesn't want that to happen because he won't have track position. He needs this to play out entirely. And we're not sure if Holland would want a caution right now or if he thinks he can do this on his strategy of maybe just doing this on one pit stop. Lap 67 on the board right now. We are halfway through the National Championship 200 for the Rivalry Racing League. Live here on Primetime Racing TV. Want to thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying the race. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't, bringing a lot of racing here on Primetime. First time we've ever brought you these races for the Rivalry Racing League, but I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, it's been a really clean and green race so far. Only one caution for 68 laps is pretty good.
Absolutely.
One of the other leagues we cover is the Hardline Racing League, and they're known for having these kind of races go on. And it's always interesting when there's so many different strategies going on that it's really even hard for us to keep track of who pitted, who needs to pit, who pitted on this lap for tires, who has older tires. All of that's going on. Here comes Garrett Grant in the 42. Remember, he was up there. He is now unlapped himself, and soon to follow is the number 20 of... Actually, soon to follow...
That's her position.
Yeah, Ricky Fagande is in second naturally. So this is they're taking the 51st lap of this stint here, are the leaders right now. Less than halfway, there are 64 laps to go in this race.
So we'll find out in about 5 laps if our fuel calculations are wrong or not.
So 64 laps to go. If they can make it to within the high 50, let's say 58 to go, 59 to go, I think without a doubt that they're fine. It's that 60 lap mark. That's, I think, the threshold we need to really watch for. We also need to watch for this battle for the lead.
The 20 machine gained a lot of ground so far. He's going to work his way up right to the back bumper to the 31.
This position does mean something to the number 20. Actually, Fagande, excuse me, I thought he was in the chase. Well, it does mean something to him because he does want to lead a lap. He wants to get every point in position possible. So even though he's not in the chase, this position may still mean something to him long term, this bonus point.
Side by side for the lead out of turn number 4 now. Down the front straightaway. Who will get it at the line? Give it to the 20 machine.
And I think with these older tires, I don't think, as we expected, Holland wasn't going to fight it. These older tires, there's not enough grip to even think about fighting it. But here comes Brandon Stokes in the 11. Remember, he's on fresher tires. He's about to unlap himself. So it's very clear and cut what the strategy is at this point. Holland and Fagonde, they're going to do this on one stop. Weishart and the guys that followed him, they are doing this on 2 stops. So how is it going to play out? How is it going to shake out in 60 laps around Homestead Miami Speedway? That's why you have to stay tuned to Prime Time and find out with us.
One guy we haven't really talked about is Travis McDaniel, who is on the same strategy as Richard Holland and Ricky Fagonde in 3rd.
Yeah, he's gotten
Holland's going to pit road.
Yeah, right here comes Holland.
How many laps was that, Corey?
This is lap 50. This will be 55 this time by, but he's run 54 at the moment. So this is 60 laps to the end. So I would assume if he went this far, he knows he could make it. So I don't think fuel's a concern. It's just he's going to have to go 60 laps on tires right now. And then as reference, let's follow Weishart. Weishart is coming off of turn 4. He hit the stripe right now. Holland just hit his pit box. That is reference. Holland's going to be a lap down when this is over with.
Wow.
So if that's, let's see, Holland right now, I'm sorry, not Holland, Weishart, he's been on track for 17 laps now since his last pit stop. So in 17 laps, he was able to put a lap, essentially, on Holland. Holland right now is just coming off turn 2.
And Weishart's going into 1.
So almost, not quite, but almost has lapped him. But, and we have to say but, Holland is going to be eating this gap alive because right now Weishart's dropped off to a 32.586. But on fresh tires, take a second off of that. But again, Weishart has to pit one more time. So
and we are assuming Holland does not, because he's still got to go 60 laps.
So it's going to be a cat versus mouse game at the end, where Holland should have the lead with the one less pit stop, but it's going to be the tires battle of Weishart to see if he can make up that lost time with the second pit stop.
The top 3 still have yet to pit.
Fagonde now on lap 58. McDaniel's on lap 58. Shed Martin, haven't talked about him at all. He's 17 seconds back, but
he's Fagonde's come down pit road this time.
Here comes Fagonde, but
McDaniel standing out.
He's going to get that very valuable bonus point that he knows he needs. He knows he's not the fastest driver today. He needs any help he can get, and now he's going to be awarded a bonus point. We're going to take this opportunity while we're cleaning green here and pit stops have done. We'll go to a very quick side-by-side commercial break. We'll be right back with you if anything happens.
When I was 16 years old, I was working in a Goodyear tire store, and my boss actually built an old dirt car, street stock Monte Carlo. Went with him one night, fell in love with it. It was a hell of a race, hell of a party, and a big fight afterwards. I was like, this is it. This is it for me. It wasn't long after that, I was driving an old 78 Camaro out of the weeds at that guy's farm. We pulled that thing out and made a race car out of it, and away we went. You know, I think a driver has more to do with the equation going back and racing dirt, whether it's a modified, a late model. You can do more with the race car. You know, the harder you drive it, a lot of times, the better it goes. You can crawl up on that wheel and feel like you made the difference at the end of the night. Asphalt car, you can't overdrive them. That was the first thing that I had to learn right off the bat is, oh my gosh, I've got to discipline myself, not overdrive this thing, and that's how you get the most out of it. Truth be told, communicating the right information to your crew and your crew chief so they can do their job and make their appropriate adjustments for you to go faster and do your job is probably 90% of the game in our world. I've always loved late models. You know, my dream was to be a late model driver driving for a living across the country like Daryl and Don do that drive for me. I mean, that was, truth be told, that was my dream, you know. I always wanted a semi. I always wanted a stacker trailer with 2 hot rods in it and let's go racing. Let's take off with your buddies and go race and chase that dream. Never in a million years did I think it would turn into a Cup Series, and I actually have an opportunity to own 2 you know, dirt late model teams. When you think of iRacing, you don't think of a video game. It's not. It's way above and beyond any of that. You know, dirt racing changes so much. The track changes so much. Being able to capture that, to, you know, experience all those details that surround dirt racing and make dirt racing what it is what makes iRacing so cool, because they did nail all of that. I knew when they came to our shop and scanned cars and went to the detail of getting that car right, I knew that it was going to be over the top, because it blew my mind just the work that went into making sure the car itself was legit. This sport has been around a long time. The competition can't be replaced, and that's what brings people back to the racetrack week in and week out.
And we're back here on Primetime Racing TV. You saw Travis McDaniel pit. Right now, David Weishart has gained the lead, which we expected him to do. And he now is up by about 5 seconds over Garrett Grant. But the guy on the mission right now is Richard Holland. He's already up to 4th position, but the caveat to that statement is he's 15 seconds back. However, he's running about 6 to 7 tenths a second, 6 to 7 tenths a lap faster than Weishart.
Yeah, it's going to be fairly easy for him to shove into that lead if it keeps up at that rate.
But the thing to note is what we expect is that Holland has to finish this race on this set of tires. So I wonder how much he's actually even pushing now, knowing that this is what he has to run the race with. We're going to expect Weishart on the pit road. I'm expecting within maybe 10 laps or so to kind of split the stint out. And I do have confirmation from admins in the channel, or in the league, that David Weishart has clinched the bonus point for most laps led. He's already led 58 laps today, soon to be 59 and counting. Nobody will be able to best that in the remaining time. So that's 2 bonus points to the 22. Remember, he entered today 2 points behind Travis McDaniel, and Holland was tied with him in second. So as we take lap number 88 next time by, let's do another through the field. Somebody else want to do that for me?
Sure. You got David Weishart leading, Garrett Grant in second, Brandon Stokes in third, Richard Holland in fourth, which he's 13.8 seconds back off the lead now. Joseph McWhorter in fifth, and then Ricky Faganda, Travis McDaniel, Matthew Welsenbach. He is last on the lead lap at the moment. Then Zachary Carter, Nicholas Wing, Shed Martin, Robert Victory, Phil Gary, Joe McAddery, and Patrick Howard and Michael Tibbetts. 15 cars still on track right now.
Tibbetts has not completely exited the race. He's not pulled behind the wall permanently. I think he may be doing some kind of serious repair, but he's still in the race technically. Not giving up. So for those tuning to us late, this is the championship race. This is the National Championship 200. The three guys of focus are your leader, David Weishart. Our 4th place, Richard Holland, and our 7th place, Travis McDaniel. They were separated by 2 points. All three of them separated by 2 points for the championship in today's race. Weishart has already got a point for the most laps led and for leading a single lap. McDaniels has led a lap. Well, Travis McDaniel has led a lap, as has, we just confirmed, Richard Holland. So a bonus point to all the top three.
But Weishart gets that extra 1 for the leading the most laps.
And we won't know until the end of the race, but there is another point on offer if you ran a race with no incidents. We don't have a way to know that as of yet, but that will be calculated after the race. But the thing we have to focus on is Weishart will be to pit road, I mean, effectively any time, I would expect, in the next 10 laps. So the race is going to be, when he pits, can he eat up the deficit that he will have to Richard Holland, who is now staying out the remainder of the race on his current set of tires. That's going to be the race. And there's a caution.
Caution on the speedway. Wow, this changes all
is that Patrick Howard running the road course again?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Looks like, not really sure what he was doing, actually.
He's coasting it, he's completely clutching it, and I think he was indecisive on whether to run the access road or to run the road course, so he chose the road course.
Apparently he wanted a yellow?
I don't know, because he's already 9 laps down.
You're not gonna...
Interesting.
Have you ever?
I think he's trying to put. I think he's just trying to put rubber down there. Like I said, maybe there's a test session later today.
Maybe.
But everything that we said about the strategy, tires, all that stuff, throw it away. Throw absolutely all of it away. But it will work out in the favor of Richard Holland because he's going to get out first. Well, isn't he?
No.
He didn't get out first. He had a 24-second... he had a 14-second stop, which is about a half-second slower than anybody else.
Get out third.
So little do I know there. We thought he was in the prime position, but not quite.
So this changes everything.
So instead of being a cat and mouse game of tires versus pit versus new tires versus old, it's just going to be an old-fashioned about 38 lap shootout, 38 lap sprint to decide a champion here today. Weishart is the leader. Garrett Grant in second. Richard Holland after that pit stop down to third. Magande in fourth. Walzenbeck in fifth. Or I believe that position might be changing.
Looks like Walzenbeck's going down pit road.
Oh, McDaniel is now being scored in the fifth position. So Weishart first, Holland in third, McDaniel in fifth. They will all be starting on the inside row here for this restart. Your three top championship contenders.
So before we get back green here, who you guys' picks to win the race with 40-ish laps to go?
Based on the last run, I think Holland is the faster driver on the longer run, but I think Weishart can get out going a lot faster. So it's going to be a matter of how long is this last stint going to be, and what kind of gap can Weishart get.
That's not quite a pick. You can't pick two drivers, Corey.
I said it's conditional. Depends on what kind of run we have.
Brandon, who's your pick?
Good question. Did anyone choose the 31 yet?
No, I never actually decided. I said it's conditional.
Okay, well,
yeah, Corey can't pick one person.
That's not how this works, Corey, but...
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Anyways, these guys stacked up, doubled up, and getting ready for the restart here at Homestead Miami Speedway.
95 laps in the books. We will be taking lap 96. That'll leave 38 on the board here to remain this race out. Had only 2 cautions for 8 laps, 5 lead changes today. Very competitive, clean, green, interesting race thus far for the Rivalry Racing Championship race. And we will soon get this race back underway. Pace car takes that hard left turn. Soon it will anyways. There it goes into pit lane. We will wait for the green flag, wait for Weishart to get this race going, and there he does. Green flag in the air, and I'll tell you, Grant did not get going.
No, not at all, but here comes the 31 into second place now. And he's going to try to push and possibly gain another position.
And here comes McDaniel. McDaniel into third. Your top 3 championship drivers are in the top 3 now. McDaniel has not been here all day, but now the money's on the line, and look who's coming to the top.
These guys all hungry for positions right now. Out of turn number 4, they're all trying to gain the momentum. It's a gaggle behind these guys.
The battle is very tight for about 7th and 8th positions going on. We have the 20 of Fagonde. Talked about him a lot today. The 29 of Walzenbach, the 11 of Stokes. All of them going very hard and aggressive for about 6th through 9th. 29 diving into the bottom there through 3. I think Fagonde kind of just backed off there, let these guys get into line. A battle for the lead.
Holland on to the low side. Weishart up high. Weishart gets the momentum off the high side there, going down into turn number 1.
Remember, at this exact moment, give Weishart the edge. Even if Holland does get the lead, he's going to have 1 point to the negative because Weishart has that bonus point for leading the most laps.
Yeah, Holland's going to need Weishart to fall back at least to 3rd or 4th for him to be able to win the championship. I do believe Holland does have the most wins, though, so he would get any tiebreaker.
Yeah, we do need to double check the point scoring system to just figure out how much variance there is between 1st and 2nd, because that could be the difference right there. That could wash out or make the bonus points.
Yes, Holland does have the most wins with 3.
And Holland's taking that lower line through 3 and 4, gets right to the back bumper. The battle for the lead and potentially for the championship is heating up here.
Down into turns number 1 and 2, the 31 hungry for a win here tonight. Out of especially, this is one of the most important nights of the season. Battle for the championship here, and they're right under a blanket here.
Holland looks like he's driving it a little bit deeper, but it doesn't look like Weishart got through the center of the turn very well. That's going to give Holland that run off of turn 4 and give him a little bit of momentum down the front straightaway. Both of them decide to run the far bottom all the way to the white line here, and off turn 2 again with a look to the inside is Holland. I don't know if that's what he wants. Maybe he should try the top, maybe try to get the 22 pinned, but not this time. He's going to try the bottom again.
He tried to dive it in there, didn't quite work. He's running the lower line. The 22 washes up a little, but Holland unable to get anything done that corner. He loses a little bit of time.
Holland just kind of needs to be patient right now and try not to burn his stuff up.
See about a 2-car length, truck length, excuse me, deficit here thus far. But at the moment, Holland seems to be the faster driver. But you have to remember, is Weishart pushing it? Is Holland burning up his stuff? This is stuff that we don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how this run plays out. And Holland almost in the wall. Excuse me, Weishart almost in the wall.
Weishart got really high out of turn 4, and that's going to give Holland a run down the front stretch.
Holland literally right back to the back bumper of the 22 machine. He's going to lose a little bit of time on corner.
Sorry, guys. We need to call this out right now. What has happened to Travis McDaniel? So focused on the lead. Travis McDaniel is not on the track right now.
Wow. Let's see. Let's see if I can see anything here.
Looks like he might have just lost connection.
Yeah, I don't...
You might be able to see on your end the connection status if he is disconnected or lost throughput.
He didn't drop out. His quality is at 19, his ping is at 233, yeah, so very bad connection, in other words, simple terms.
Mike Taylor in chat giving us clarification that Travis has had connection issues. That is not the worst possible race you could possibly have.
He just dropped out.
Absolute heartbreaking loss there for McDaniel. Remember, he was in the top 3. He got himself to the money positions when it mattered, and unfortunately, Lady Luck and his internet provider has cost him a championship today.
And something we missed while talking about McDaniel is Holland hit the wall in turn 3 and lost quite a bit of time to our leader Weishart.
Yeah, big gap separates first and second now.
Looking at the 31 machine from a couple different angles, doesn't look like the damage is, at least aerodynamically, anything significant. I think he's just going to have to get back into rhythm and try to reel David Weishart back in. As we get further clarification about Travis McDaniel, he's a very proud member of our U.S. military. He's actually stationed overseas, racing overseas right now. Obviously, the connection is not the greatest for him where he is stationed, so that was the cause of his issue, but we do want to appreciate him for his service and his risk that he does to provide freedom for our great American nation.
It's one of the more interesting stories that I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of connection drops before, but that is probably the best reason I've ever heard it drop for that scenario.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not in Travis's benefit, but for the reason that he had issues. It's very reputable. But we will bring up back to the battle for the lead. We will bring up our battle tracker to find out that Holland is indeed, my favorite word, a skosh faster that last time by. About a half second.
That was a skosh. That was 300ths of a second, Corey.
Yeah, I have to find the word skosh as about 300ths of a second, so that was the exact difference that time.
Apparently that's a rule now.
It's got to be between 300ths and 0.039. It's got to be within 300ths of a second.
But the person who creates the rule does have the ability to change it on the fly with no discretion or notice. So a skosh could be a 3/4 of a second next time by. Just whatever I want. Caution on the speedway.
Caution on the speedway.
Matthew Walzenberg in the 29 is sideways, and I believe turn 3 and 4. Hard to tell from this perspective.
1 and 2.
Yeah, I had a 50-50 chance. So we follow him off of turn 4 a little bit early in the battle here. You can see he has to the inside of him down the front straightaway.
Him and the number 7 made contact.
Robert Victory. See, Victory.
That was not a victory for him.
Yeah, they both were fighting. I think he was probably expecting Victory to run lower on the track, but Victory kind of ran the middle, and 2 cars cannot fit in the same piece of real estate, as we all know. So that is going to make this even more of a sprint race than it already was. We have 24 laps to go after this set of caution laps. It'll probably be about 20 laps left and a championship on the line. As of now, and we get clarification from our live points guy, Mike Taylor, in chat, Weishart would be your champion by 1 point, and that point very well may be because he led the most laps.
Yeah, otherwise it would be tied, and Holland would get that tiebreaker.
We don't think, though, we have to go back and remember the incident point that this league does put on offer. With Holland hitting the wall, he must have negated that incident point, and we don't think that Weishart has had anything to happen to lose that point for him.
Yeah, it hasn't really looked like either of them have gotten any incidents so far.
So I think that, well, it's whoever wins this race should be the champion, I think. At the worst case, if Holland wins the race and Weishart is second, I think it'll be a tie, but
are there bonus points for winning?
Yeah, we need to figure out, Mike Taylor, can you please let us know what the variance is between first and second in points awarded? Travis McDaniel back in the server trying to get a lap back. Well, he will by the wave around. He's 3 laps down now. I believe it'll be 2 now. Or it may have been 4 going on 3, but regardless.
It was 5, and now he's got 2 wave rounds so far.
I don't know if they're giving him a little bit of buffer, but I don't think anyone would complain about that. We'll take this opportunity to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, hopefully for the final restart. Stay with us here on Primetime.
I grew up in Northern California. My parents were just really big race fans and took my sister and I to, sprint car races pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. So I did outlaw kart racing from 7 till I was 14. And then that's when I got into 360 and 410 wing sprint cars. There's just something about dirt racing that's just, you can't get anywhere.
It's delayed, Corey.
Welcome back, race fans, and we were at 1 to green, and well, got delayed. We're not quite sure the reason. It was delayed by a league official. So while we have the opportunity, I'm going to take brief moment to run through our sponsors here. Air Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. Air Movement and Fabrications, official partner with Primetime Racing TV. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Also, channel overlays brought to you by iBog. You can go ahead. Jason Allison does a great job with that. And also our website, Tabor Web Designs. Huge shout out to him. And we are delayed once again.
I do believe they're trying to get Travis McDaniel back on the lead lap.
It would make sense under the circumstances. He did drop out of the server, so that is a valid. I'll give the league props if they.
Yeah, I'm sure there was probably a
that.
driver's vote, and I don't think anybody would have a problem with it in this scenario. Right now, he is 1 lap down. I think he's going to have to get one more time. This will tick off the laps, though. It's going to make, what,
19 to go, somewhere around
18
there.
at the green, considering we get it next time by, and this should put him back on the lead lap. I'll tell you, if he's stationed overseas, though, I mean, obviously he did drop out just there, but he does have pretty good connection. That truck is not bouncing around, warping left and right. It seems pretty stable, except for that one catastrophic failure.
Yeah, he's got a really stable ping, and his quality is better than some of the guys in here.
So let's see if the lights stay extinguished on the pace car this time by.
That's a new one. If they stay extinguished, if they stay lit, or they become extinguished. I think you got that backwards.
They have become extinguished either way.
They're not going to stay extinguished. Oh, well, that would mean they stay off the whole time.
They're going to stay extinguished until the...
You know what? English is hard, okay?
You tried. We'll give you props.
Yeah.
We're at Homestead, though. At least we all know that.
And that's the pace car, not the Facebook, Brandon.
Corey, at least Corey knows the track.
We are working on a primetime blooper reel, which apparently we've contributed a couple times to already this far today.
Which so far I don't believe I've made it onto that. But you guys have.
You'll have your chance.
I know I will.
All right, so we've got our serious faces on. There's 20 laps to go. It'll be 19 to go at the stripe. A championship on the line. We have the 22, the 31. These guys are ready to go for the title. Remember, Travis McDaniel dropped back. He's 11th, but he is the third guy in line for the championship. Pace car takes the hard left turn to pit lane, waiting for the green flag, and there it is. David Weishart early on the gas pedal. He'll get about a 2-truck length lead as we enter turn 1.
Battle for second. Now they're side by side. 42 down low, 31 up on the high side. Who will get it for the second position?
That is not what Holland needs. Holland does not need to fall back any further, but I'd have to imagine the first two Louisiana trucks, they're probably team drivers, so I wonder if team orders are in play to hold the 31 up as much as you can, Garrett Grant.
31 ducks down low.
Sorry, Brandon. 3 wide going on for a second there. Back in the pack. Has seized itself out here, but that was some tight racing going on.
Going back up front, Holland lost the position to the 42 machine of Grant. Now Grant gains momentum on the leader.
But I don't think Grant's going to roll over and play dead and let his teammate just walk away with his title. He wants to win the race, and he's closing in and trying to make a battle of it.
Yeah, there's no team orders there. Grant is trying to get around Weishart.
And if these guys duke it out, that will bring Holland into it. That will bring Joseph McWhorter into it. I haven't talked about him all day. 17 laps to go here, folks.
Yeah, these guys mostly single file right now, but slowly but surely these guys are starting to come back together here. Or so it appears.
Weishart has gotten a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of buffer, about 3/10 worth of that buffer. We'll check the battle graphic this time by. And it shows, as we wait for the scoring loop to update, essentially break-even lap times that last time by. 2 1,000 separating the first two.
What Holland just needs to hope for now is that Weishart and Grant start to duke it out a little bit, and he can get by at least Weishart.
Did seem like Holland is the better driver on the long run, but unfortunately for him, I wouldn't qualify this 20-lap run as a long run, so he's not really suited to his strength now, but if he's going to make something for a championship, he's going to have to find it.
Yeah, absolutely, Corey, and looks like Grant is starting to gain time on the leader.
I said Louisiana, Louisville. So I know I'm going to get stabbed for that in chat. The Louisville trucks up front.
Close enough. It starts with a Louis.
You've been mixing up states already, so it's okay.
A little rusty on my college football, well, college teams in general, so please don't bash me for that. I do try. The Cardinals Silverados up front now. Team drivers, I'm assuming. But again, how nice is Garrett Grant going to play right now?
That's a good question, and it doesn't seem like he's really quite able to get to his rear bumper at all. As soon as he starts getting close, something happens where he loses a little bit of momentum through the corner, and it looks like your leader's just been that perfect so far.
Because if Garrett Grant makes a move for the lead, he might get the 22 of Weishart slowed up enough to maybe allow Holland to pass by both of them, and that might be the championship right there.
Yeah, I think Holland is actually a little bit quicker than the leaders right now. He's starting to reel them in a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. And, yeah, that 31's definitely gained a lot of time.
He may be able to use these two battling to his advantage to close this gap and maybe make a move himself. As the laps tick away, the intensity is up to 10 here, and you have to stay with us for the last 12 laps. We have a heck of a battle on our hands and a championship to give away. Stay with us here for the last 12 laps on Primetime Racing TV.
Here down, coming out of turn number 4, the 42 loses a little bit of momentum, and the 31's gaining even more time now.
As the 31 gains on the 42, they both have lost a little bit on Weishart here, and the laps are ticking away to being able to make that time back up. You can see a different line there being run by the 31. Gained a little bit.
Lost one of our commentators up in block.
Apparently the internet is not faring well to a bunch of drivers. We did lose a commentator. But Brandon and I are still here. 31, he's going to have to make quick work with Garrett Grant if he's going to have any chance. But you have to imagine Grant's going to be on very hard defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And none of these guys are going to want to give up positions, no matter the circumstances here. But yeah, obviously an extremely hard fight right now.
And to take note in the back of our minds, we have to go back to what we like to call on primetime the iRacing cutoff lap of if a caution comes out, will the race get restarted? I assume that to be about 6, maybe 5 laps to go. So if a caution is going to interrupt this race, it's going to have to happen soon, or else this will end under the yellow flag.
So it doesn't look like these guys are really gaining or losing at this point. Looks like everyone a pretty equal distance from one another so far up front, as we've got just 10 laps to go here.
Well, just as you say that, they kind of gained a pretty good bit off of turn 4 that time. Let's kind of get some lap time differentials here. 32.2 for Holland, a 32.21 for Grant, 32.26 for Weishart, so all within a couple hundreds. That kind of small interval is going to make a pass nearly impossible.
Yeah, and the laps are ticking down here, folks. Not much. If they stay like this, not much is going to happen, and I think we could already take a guess at who the champion will be.
And just to note, we obviously see the first two up here of Weishart in Holland. To note the other championship top driver, Travis McDaniel. Remember, he was kind of gifted back on the lead lap after his connection issue. He's only up to 8th now, but he really hasn't been up there all day. That's about where he's run the majority of the race. Right. 6 laps to go this time by, as we've kind of discussed. This is right around the time of the iRacing cutoff lap. If a caution's going to come out much after this, the race will probably end behind the pace car. And it looks like Weishart's kind of gaining a little bit of a buffer now. He's kind of getting that safety net, so he may be able to breathe a little easier.
Yeah, absolutely, and these guys have fallen back quite a bit. I think they were pushing their tires just a little bit too hard, Corey.
Yeah, you can't really blame them when you're in that situation with the intensity, with everything on the line. It's really hard to be patient and to use that discipline to save the tires. But if anyone did it, it must have been the 22 of Weishart.
These guys are at 5 to go, 4.5 laps to go here.
The lead
31
now.
still trying to gain that one extra spot. It looks like he's driving his hardest.
The lead now up to about a half a second Weishart has over Grant, and obviously Holland right sniffing behind for second. But 4 to go. This race will end green or it will end under caution. There will be no restarts from this point out. As of this point, David Weishart has a 3-point win in the title over Richard Holland. So if it stays true, that is the gap right now. And even if Holland is able to get second, it will not change the championship picture.
3 laps to go back at the flagger stand.
4.5 miles around the Homestead Miami Speedway for the Rivalry Racing Truck Series League. I had to think about that. I apologize. For the National Championship 200. Championship is on the line. The 22 of David Weishart has been out front the majority of this race, has shown his muscle, has been able to get through, has played the pit strategy perfectly, has played the restarts perfectly, and he's going to potentially get the ultimate prize in a matter of 3 miles.
The laps are slowly but surely ticking down here at the Homestead Miami Speedway, and we know that Weishart can just taste the championship right now.
It's right in front of him. He can see it. He has about 5 corners left to navigate around Homestead Miami Speedway. Very close to the wall there. He's still giving it his all, but the white flag is in the air here. One more time around. One more lap separates Weishart from a championship.
Yeah, and obviously we haven't covered these guys, at all, Corey, but these guys put on an awesome show for us here tonight. And coming into turns number 3, out of turn number 4, it looks like your season champion will be the 22, David Weishart. Across the line race winner and champion here from Rivalry Racing League.
We give our primetime congratulations to your unofficial, but we assume to be official champion of the series here with his victory today, David Weishart. Commending effort to Richard Holland, who finished 3rd, and Travis McDaniel, who after his issues managing to finish 8th. And congrats to everybody else for their great race today. We will go to a quick side-by-side commercial break and interview the top 3, including your champion, so stay with us.
Enjoy going back to race them whenever I can. I get to run about 20 to 25 dirt races a year and try and put on a show every time I'm there.
Battle for the lead. Kyle Larson to the inside of Shane Stewart. Slide job, no. Larson unable to complete the pass. He'll follow Shane Stewart down the back straightaway. Stewart makes the move to the inside of Craig Kinser. Kyle Larson goes around the outside out of turn 4. You've got a new race leader. Kyle Larson from 9th leads on lap number 23.
I'm probably just a little more relaxed, I guess, at the dirt track just because it's for fun, where the NASCAR stuff, it's points racing and a lot bigger sponsors and stuff you have to please and all that. You're there for 3 days a week, so your approach is a little bit different there, where sprint cars, you're there for 5 or 6 hours and moving on to the next racetrack. So I've been on iRacing, I think, since 2009 or 10. Yeah, I remember, starting out, as a rookie on there, in the Legends and the late models and stuff like that. And that was fun to, have to try and get your licenses up and stuff. But it's amazing to me how, now that I get to race on a lot of the tracks that are on there, how to the T, similar because of the laser scanning and stuff like that. So all the bumps and all the visual aspects of it are very good. So when I first got to like K&N and then the Nationwide Series at the time, I would race iRacing all the time to learn as much as I could about the racetrack before I went to the actual racetrack to race. So to me, it's just for fun now. So I enjoy going on there. Actually, I don't enjoy going on there all the time because I don't win a lot. So it's frustrating to see myself struggle to run top 10 in an Xfinity race or something like that and get beat by Logan Seavey every time I run a sprint car. So the level of competition.
And we're back here on PTRTV for the post-race show. We will interview your top 3 drivers, including your champion. So we'll start off with the 3rd place finisher today of Richard Holland in the 31.
Yeah, I was just going to run it right out.
Richard Holland, Primetime Racing TV, you got a copy. Richard Holland, Primetime Racing TV, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So we saw you run pretty well most of the race, especially on the long runs, but you didn't quite have it. Ended up finishing 3rd and 2nd in the championship. How was your race for you?
It wasn't too bad. To be honest with you, I was really hoping that... I know we had a lot of green flag running, but I was really hoping for more. I mean, I really felt like the set was actually tight. I really didn't feel like there was any reason for a caution here. Homestead, normally you have a lot of green flag racing, and these guys have been really clean, you know, all season, really. And I really felt like this race could go green right from start to finish, and I was hoping it did. My pit strategy was not very many pit stops.
Yeah, we saw you there at the end. Were you going to try and make it on just that one stop there during that green flag run before that caution came out?
Yeah, 10-4, that was the deal. We were stopped, and we weren't going to stop again. I was a couple laps to the good on fuel there, and we weren't going to stop again if the caution didn't come out. So that was pretty much my strategy, and went out the window when we got that caution. So.
All right, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or thank?
I just want to thank Travis for putting on this league and all the guys that we race with. Like I said, it was a bunch of respectful guys and fun to race around everybody. It was a good season. And I just want to thank my teammates, everybody from Outcast Motorsports there, Rick Fagon, Mike Tibbetts, Phil Gary, Robert Victory. Just want to thank all those guys just for practicing, putting the time in. You know, we work really well together, and just want to thank those guys.
All right, thanks for talking with us, and congrats on your 3rd place finish and 2nd in the championship.
Yep, thank you very much. I want to give a shout out to David there for having a good season and coming on strong in the chase there. He just outdrove us really in the chase, and he earned it. So congratulations to them guys, David.
All right, thanks for talking with us. And now we will have 2nd place finisher in the booth with us, Garrett Grant.
All right, Garrett Grant, Primetime Racing TV, got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we saw you have a pretty good race, started outside pole, ran top 5 the majority of the race, and you kind of was sniffing, I assume, to be your teammate at Weishart at the end. How did you feel about that last run? Did you think you had a chance for the W?
Yeah, I thought I had a chance at him, but he started pulling away from me a little bit once the tires got worn in.
Yeah, so kind of talk about the vibe of the race. It looked like it was going to go clean and green for the rest of the way. Everyone was kind of on whether a 2-stop or a 1-stop strategy. And then all of a sudden we had a couple restarts at the end. So did that kind of shake up what you were planning for the rest of the race?
No, it actually kind of played into my favor. I'm not very strong on long runs, so those late race cautions really helped me out tire-wise.
Yeah, it seems like the groove was moving around, but did you kind of notice that you had to run a certain groove to make your truck drive better?
Yeah, I was running the low to middle line. I didn't venture to the high side, but if I could get it to hook on the low line or the middle line, I was pretty good.
Yeah, so congrats, man, on your 2nd. Obviously, you were in the chase, but it was going to take a long shot for anything to happen, but you're going to be around next season to go for potentially go and get a higher finish in the standings?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just want to give a huge shout out and thanks to Travis for putting this league on, man. It's been a real blast to race with all these guys.
Yeah, we had a good time watching you guys for the championship finale. So again, congrats on your finish, and hopefully see you around next time.
Alrighty, thank you.
And Brandon will interview your winner and your champion, Mr. David Weishart.
Race winner and champion here tonight, here at Homestead Miami Speedway, David Weishart. David, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you come home tonight's race winner and champion here tonight. What was your confidence level all night? Were you confident enough that you could clinch the championship here tonight?
Well, I put about 500 to 600 laps down this week in practice because I had never turned a lap on this track, and I was pretty confident with my speeds. I just didn't know where everybody else was as far as speed goes, and I saw some of the practice times, and I was pretty confident in what I had, and then I messed up a little bit in qualifying, and that kind of worried me a little bit, but I was pretty confident.
Yeah, awesome to hear, and it showed tonight. You were a rocket pretty much all night, and when those guys started getting closer to you at the end, did you have any worry in the back of your head that maybe you weren't going to get the win tonight?
Well, there at the end, I had my teammate behind me there, and so I was pretty confident. He was kind of do right by me there because he knew the position that I was in. And he knew the guy behind him was came into the race tied with me on points, so he knew where I stood, and I didn't really have a worry with that. I felt he would do his best to help me along there.
All right, well, awesome, and he got the race win tonight. You come home with the championship. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I'd like to give a shout out to my teammate and good friend Garrett. We've known each other for about 13, 14 years now. I'd like to give a shout out to my mom and my stepdad, my sisters, and my brother, and everybody who's watching. I'd like to thank Travis for putting on this season. It's our first season, and it went, I mean, it was about as good as you can get it for a first season. And I definitely hope people come out and join next year. It's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to coming back next season.
All right, awesome, and once again, congratulations on your win here tonight and overall your Season 1 championship.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that's your top 3 and your champion here. So let's wrap up your final results here from the Homestead Miami Speedway and call it a night here on Primetime Racing TV. Again, with the victory and the championship is David Weishart. Congratulations to him. Garrett Grant was second, Richard Holland third, Joseph McWhorter in fourth, then Ricky Fagonde, Brandon Stokes, Matthew Walzenbach. Travis McDaniel, remember, he was another one of the top 3, dropped out, managed to get back on the lead lap, and then Nicholas Wing and Zachary Carter the top 10.
Then we got Chad Martin in 11th, Robert Victory in 12th, Phil Gary in 13th, Joe McAddery in 14th, Patrick Howard in 15th, and round out the field is Michael Tibbetts in 16th.
So once again, a quick shout out to our sponsors, Air Movement and Fabrications, Krutz Custom Graphics, iBog Overlay Graphics, and Tabor Web Design, all huge partners and huge help here with the channel.
So that's the broadcast here today. We want to thank you for watching the Rivalry Racing National Championship 200 live here on Primetime Racing TV. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. A lot of content here on Primetime. We'd love to have you along for the ride, joining us week after week, broadcast after broadcast. Check us out on Friday night with the Hardline Racing Cup Series, Sunday night with the Super Speedway DXT Series, and a couple surprises along the way. Signing out in the booth, I'm Corey Silva with Evan Black and Brandon Krutz. Have a great night, and see you next time.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night. See you next time.